Thank you all for coming out tonight. This is our combined jazz band, middle school and high school. We meet 3 times a week. Some of you saw us at Night of Fine Arts, so between this group and the high school group, we're doing a mixture of some tunes that we played at Night of Fine Arts, some new stuff as well. And you can hear by my voice, I'm losing it a little bit, so I'll keep talking to a minimum. Okay, all right. I heard the sigh of relief. All right, on to the music. Swing, swang, swung. before I forget, our first tune that we played featured Eva and Logan. Give them another hand for their solos there. That last piece that we played, Swang, Swang, Swung, featured quite a few of our members. Sorry, Anae, Sean, and Katie. Give them another hand. And our next piece of music for the combined jazz part of the program is called On Green Dolphin Street, and this is going to feature Joel, Pablo, and Nick. Okay, brief set change as our middle schoolers step to the side. Next up, we have our high school only group. They meet once a week, and even in that time, they're able to accomplish quite a bit. And we're playing 2 new pieces for you since Night of Fine Arts. 1 new piece, 2 repeats from Night of Fine Arts. So we are going to start out with Drama for Your Mama. once again, our soloists on that one. We have Timothy, Madrick, and Danny. Give them one more round of applause. As we switch over to our next tune, Martinique, I just wanted to remind everyone, these solos that you're hearing the musicians play in the group are all improvised. They're made up on the spot. There's no written music for them to look off of. We talk about in class what are best practices in terms of getting a good solo, but the rest is up to them. So in Martinique, we have Travis, Graham, and Ane in this one. Not in that order, but those three are going to be soloing for you. I forgot to mention at the beginning of that one, sorry I had a solo in that as well. Give another round of applause to our soloists. All right. Our last tune for the jazz bands, and we'll have a quick set change over to concert band. Our last one should be one that you're familiar with, Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy. And because it called for a fourth trumpet, I couldn't help myself, so I'm going to hop back there and play with them as well. So just give me a moment to set up. That first piece of music you heard from Concert Band was called Portrait of a Clown. That one is working a lot on our different articulations, short, long, everything in between, at loud and soft volumes throughout. That piece, along with Shenandoah and IronHeart, are next two selections. The Concert Band is going to be taking to contest in 2 weeks. And so this is kind of a preparation performance for them as they get ready for that. So up next we have Shenandoah, a complete change of style, nice and smooth, nice beautiful sounds here. And we're going to hear a little bit from every section in this one. Once again, a pretty big switch in style for our next piece, IronHeart, written by Robert Sheldon. You're going to hear a lot of bigger noises, more aggressive noises, especially from our percussion section, who's playing a couple of wacky instruments, which once they get set up, I will introduce to you. But overall, you're going to hear this melody passing back and forth. We have our mallet instruments kind of laying down this groove for us that's going to follow throughout the entire piece of music. Izzy, do you have the break drum ready? Or who's playing the break? Camden, go ahead and give the break drum a hit for us. Okay. And when I say break drum, I do mean the break drum of a car. Don't ask me how it got to the band room, I don't know. But that is what the piece calls for. And so you're going to hear that in this piece, and you're going to hear it in one of our pieces in symphonic band as well. Please enjoy IronHeart. one more piece of music to close out the concert band portion of the program. This one's titled Beyond the Seven Hills. IronHeart and Beyond the Seven Hills, we are also going to be performing at Kings Island with a combined group of these guys and symphonic band members. So symphonic band gets to learn these two pieces in a couple days, which I think they're up to the task for. But in Beyond the Seven Hills, you're going to hear a little bit of everything. We've got the aggressiveness of IronHeart. We've got some of the smoothness from Shenandoah. And so throughout, make sure you're listening for basically everything that we've played so far tonight. Please enjoy Beyond the Seven Hills.
That first piece of music was called Fugue State, the title referring to a fugue in music where we have one theme and it gets stacked up on top of itself multiple times, which you heard throughout that. Next up, we have a piece of music called Blue and Green Music. It is composed by Sam Hazo. Oh, it reminded me of something I forgot. Before we go on to our next piece of music, thank you. Before we go on to our next piece of music, I have a little demonstration for you. So often when I tell people what I do, or I hear it when students interact with other students, oftentimes I get comments saying, that must be great to teach such an easy class, you get to do all the fun stuff. Which, yes, I do get to do a lot of fun stuff, like performances like tonight. But what I do want to make clear is by no means is what we're doing up here easy. What we're going to do first is play a warm-up chorale that we often play as we're getting ready for the day. It's usually one of the first things that we're playing in the morning. It's called Chester. It's a classic American folk song. And here is Chester. Yep, feel free to clap, yep. Now,
A couple weeks ago, I sat down and I did some math, and I realized, or I thought to myself, what if we played a piece of music at 96% accuracy? In most classes, that would be an A. Maybe even sometimes the teacher would bump it up a percent and you get an A+. And what I realized, and what these guys realized, what we are doing in class is way, way beyond 96, 97% accuracy. Whenever we're playing, we need to be at or close to perfection. And oftentimes, yes, there are going to be little mistakes here and there, but we want to be as close to that 100%. So let's hear what it sounds like at 96% accuracy, which ends up being about 2 mistakes per person. Okay. No one wants to listen to that, okay? And that's 96%. That is excellent, way above average in any other class. But what we are doing demands so much of our students, and we're just talking about notes. We didn't even do wrong rhythms. We didn't do wrong intonation, any of that. That's just one aspect of our playing. So when you think back to everything you've heard so far tonight, the strings, choir, concert band, jazz bands, what they're doing is way beyond that 96%. We're looking, I would confidently say everything we've heard so far tonight is well above 99% if we're just looking at note accuracy. So, and especially as we go on through our last couple pieces of music, be thinking about that and really appreciate the work that these students have put into their craft. Okay. Next up, now we have Blue and Green Music, yes, by Sam Hazo, and I have this up on the screen. This is a painting called Blue and Green Music by Georgia O'Keeffe, so follow along with me. Georgia O'Keeffe wanted to make a painting, as she did, and she was inspired to make a painting that she based off of what she thinks music would look like. So she made this visual representation of music and titled it Blue and Green Music. The composer of this piece, Sam Hazo, did the reverse. He took a look at this painting and said, what would this painting sound like? And so you're going to hear a lot of really lush sounds throughout the percussion. We have got lots of really important mallet parts in here. We have some really delicate exposed parts in the woodwinds. And my personal theory is that every section of the painting here is represented somewhere in the music. I'm not going to tell you where I think each part is. I'll let you decipher that for yourself. But here is Blue and Green Music. Next up is a pretty wild piece of music. It is titled Plummet, written by Jason Nippert. Some of you may recognize that name from a couple of years ago. Jason is a really good friend of mine. He's another band teacher. He's up in the Dublin district, but he's also a fantastic composer. So for those of you who were around a couple of years ago, we played a piece of his called Beautiful. And to help jog your memory, that's when we had the bass drum all the way back in the auditorium. Really cool piece of music. This piece of music is probably going to be the exact opposite of that. This is very intense, very fast, and you're going to see a ton of different time signatures. Everything that can be thrown at the performers is. And there's a common theme that we hear throughout this whole piece of music, which is a warning siren. And we have various instruments throughout the band that mimic this siren sound, but also, right at the climax, we actually have a real siren. Kylie, go ahead and play it. This is what you're going to want to listen for. Okay, so that's going to happen right at the climax, but before that and after that, you're going to hear various instruments mimicking that siren sound. Obviously, your first thought might be trombone, since their slides can naturally do that. If you have a trombone player or no one, that's like the first thing that they do when they pick up the instrument. Okay, but we're going to hear it in other instruments as well. So please enjoy Plummet. worked up a sweat for that one. All right. Before our last piece of music, there's a group of people that I want to make sure we acknowledge tonight. And I did not warn them this was happening. Seniors, can you please stand up? Okay. Nick, wave in the back. Okay. Now, when you see these seniors, I want you to see 7, 8 years of dedicated work to get where they are. They started band just like everyone else. They got good at their craft, and even a couple of years ago, they made it through COVID. They survived, they stuck with it, okay? And these students have done a ton for our band program. And we're gonna talk more about their accomplishments at the band awards ceremony, which we'll talk about in a moment. Seniors, you can sit down now. But yeah, give them another round. Our last piece of music means a lot to me personally. It's one of my favorites. And when we were first working on this a while ago, I told the students something that maybe they just wrote it off at the time, but hopefully for this performance they can remember back. I told them that when I hear this piece of music, it reminds me a lot about how I felt my senior year of high school. This piece of music starts out kind of melancholy, almost sad. And probably for a lot of our seniors, they're not quite sure what's coming up for them this summer, next school year, or beyond. And for us who are going to still be here next year, we're going to miss them dearly. And that's what you're going to hear at the beginning of this piece. But at the end, we have this big triumphant sound, because we know that even though our seniors are going to leave us next year, they're going on to bigger and better things. They're going to go into whatever field they are and put the best that they can into it. And we know that they're going to do great things because they've done great things here. So, please enjoy Air for Band. Okay. Thank you all again for coming. I know it's a late night, but we wanted to make sure that we got a chance to play all the music, all the hard work that we've done so far this year. Before you go, quick reminder, on May 19th, and this should pop up on the screen, we have our middle school and high school band awards right in here at 7 o'clock. Make sure you are here. You will not want to miss that as we honor all of our students and get to reminisce on all of the good things that we've done this year. So thank you all for coming. Have a nice evening.